Just when you thought all the talk about the eclipse was over, here I go talking about it again. I actually enjoyed my talk on Sunday, if you hadn't heard that. Just some different perspective on the eclipse, kind of from a, Christian worldview. But I got to bring it up again, because this past week I saw a sign that said, I think it was on somebody's Dairy Queen sign. It said, "Hey people, this is an eclipse, not an apocalypse." And I thought, there's probably some wisdom in that. But I will say this, just briefly, I ain't going to keep you long. Most people responded to the whole eclipse thing in three ways. Number one, a lot of people just didn't care. It's no problem. We're going to go on and do what we do. The second group was absolutely freaked out. We saw so many things, and again, go back and listen to what I said on Sunday. There were so many theories and false assumptions about the eclipse that are going around. And then number three, here's what I did, and I encouraged everybody else to do, is let the eclipse create an awareness. Man, I don't know about you, but when you go to a funeral, you tend to think about life and death more than just in your normal routine. Well, the one thing about the eclipse that happened the other day was it did make us think a little bit about what's out there, about what potentially could happen. It makes us think about the end. And Jesus would say something to his boys, and Matthew would record this. It's what Jesus said. Jesus said, "Now concerning that day and the hour, no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, except the Father alone." And that whole chapter of Matthew is a great chapter if you want to read it sometime, about end times and the second return of Christ, the second coming of Christ. But here's what Jesus wanted you to know. After all of that he talked about signs, and he talked about how devastating it would be to be left behind. It's kind of a spooky chapter, but I will say this. Here's what he said. Here's how he wrapped it up. "And this is why you need to be ready, because the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect." The bottom line today is this. We can guess what Jesus has said a lot of times about when he's going to come back, but there's no specific way that we can know exactly when he's coming. That's the point. The bottom line is we got to be ready. We got to be ready as believers, but most especially if you've never followed Jesus, if you've never invited him to forgive you of your sins and take over your life, it will be a horrible, horrible thing. It would break my heart for you not to be ready. And that's your bottom line. God bless.